I guess 5 or 6 days concerning Young, Famous, and African season 2. I think I might do episode 3 a little bit later on today, double up, and so that we can get 2 lives going. But yeah, yeah. You know, it's wild out here. You know what I mean? It's wild out here. But Andile and Diamond's beef, let's talk about it, because there's a lot to decipher between these two. I get where Diamond's coming from as well. I do understand that. And it all just really depends on whether Andile, and I watched it again, and Andile, well, he kind of backed himself into a corner here. Yeah. Because unless he's really dark, you know, you called him a brother on this part of the episode anyway. I don't know if he does it later on, but on this episode, he called him a brother and his boy. And if that's the case, sir, why are we saying his words loosely and knowing that we're going to move like Goosey? You understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah? But let's have a little look at the conversation.
But positives, I've been asking myself, like, Andile, my brother, out of all the ladies in the world, he decided to go after the mother of my kids. Of course, me and
now it's so interesting, and I think it's interesting because now, of course, if they're boys, it is a violation. Yeah, to go after the mother of his kids is a violation, right? Because it's a violation of your boys. Yeah, unless your boy gives you a go ahead, it's not going to work, right? So if that's the case, then it is. But I think it's, and the way that Andile talks when he's not around Diamond tells me this is not a two-way streak. So I remember a situation, yeah. I remember a situation back in the day. One of my, I used to play ball with a couple of guys and a couple of goons, right? And we always used to play ball, so we got kind of close. But I wouldn't call it friends. You understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah. We also used to play soccer and play football. Okay. And but you're not my boy. You know what I'm saying to you? Just because I kick ball with you every week doesn't mean now I consider you my boy. Right? Now, obviously, one of the guys finishes a girl. I end up hitting the girl. It gets back to him. He's getting vexed at me. I'm like, bro, we're not even boys like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm cool with you. Don't get it twisted, but you're not my boy like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're my boy like that, then I can understand what you're saying. But, bro, I'm cool with you, but you're not my boy. Now, sometimes you might say boy in like my boy or my brother in the context of you playing sports and in the context of that friendship being established in that arena. You know what I mean? In the context of that environment, sometimes you might say my boy, my brother, but it ain't your boy, it ain't your brother. Like you ain't willing to die for that person. You ain't willing to go to bat for that person. Do you get what I'm saying to you? So sometimes you can say that, but it's not really is. And I think that's what's happening here in a situation. But that just made me my very dark self as well, because you know I'm a bit of a dark artist. That made me my dark self, right? But the reality is, I don't think that relationship is deep. And I think also, I think Diamond's being very clever here, intentionally using my brother, my boy, to also box Andile in. You know, if someone calls you their boy, it would be kind of rude to say not my boy. You know what I mean? Like you're forming a friendship, but the friendship is, and this is why levels of friendship is also important as well, because not every friendship has the same level. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Not every friendship has the same level. So it's like, if you now call me your boy, I almost got to respond by saying, yeah, my boy, you're my boy, brother. But I don't see you as my boy. You know what I'm saying? Like if we're in the context of playing sport, like my situation, if in the context of playing sport, I got you back. You're my boy. I'm gonna handle things. I don't know when to try and do anything to you. But in the context of a wider context of relationships, I know you, but you're not my boy. You know what I mean? Right? So I think that is a case of something here with Andile and Diamond. And I say that because once again, the way that Andile talks, and this was episode 1, where Andile spoke about Diamond, even in this episode, okay, even in this episode, how Andile spoke about Diamond's situation. I didn't apologize because I didn't do nothing wrong. Well, then why are you backing away? Well, the reality is, what he's saying is, I'm trying to respect his wishes. Okay, but you know, he ain't my boy. That's what you're really saying, right? So let's listen to the conversation a bit more. All right.
how we are not together. right? She's the mother of my kids.
Don't you want her to be happy then?
But I know, until I know how stupid you are. So you couldn't find love anywhere except into my family. Him going after or dating the mother of my kids, that's disrespectful.
Now, the reason why he finds it disrespectful, okay, the reason why he finds it disrespectful, okay, all right, the reason why it's disrespectful is because you damn right know that your ass, you're seeing somebody who is just like you. They are hook and a crook when it comes to women. You know he ain't serious. And as men, when they have a stake and vested interest in a woman, they protect her with all their life. Okay, with all their life. So what it really was is that Diamond just didn't want Andile anywhere near Zari because it's too close to home. And do you know why I know that also too? Because he was laughing at Lewis earlier later on in the show, right? And I'll show you that clip in a second or two when I find it, right? Uh, uh, um, um, Diamond was laughing at Lewis, saying how Lewis got played. Lewis took his girl and then got played by his boy, and his boy took his girl and said it was really, really funny. So what Diamond's trying to do is make sure that he doesn't look stupid. It's got nothing to do with Zari. He don't care about Zari like that. He just doesn't want to look stupid. You know what I mean? It's a respect thing. Okay, right? It's a respect thing, right? He just wants to be able to have territory.
You need to be honest with me about how you really feel about Zari. Because when we first spoke, you said to me, you're not ready to sit in a house with one woman every single night. You're not ready to have somebody to answer to every single night, the same person.
Who's he to judge me? That doesn't give him a right to go after the mother of my kids.
But why can't he go over the other kids? So if that's the case, then you have to be boys. Like if we're saying we're if and that's why I'm saying that Diamond played a very smart game, played a very clever game. Because the reality is, I'm not your nigga. You know what I'm saying to you? I'm not your nigga. Okay, I'm not your boy like that, bruh. You know what I mean? So as far as I'm concerned, if I'm not your boy, then I don't really need to respect the boundaries because I'm not affiliated to you like that. My loyalty don't go any more deeper. After the show, I don't know who the frick you are after this. I don't monitor your movements. I don't see where you go. Like the only, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the reality. I think that's the reality of Andile's situation, which is that's why I said that he's doing what he's doing. Right? It's like I don't have any an affiliation towards you. None. Let's go.
Stay on your lane.
You need to figure out, do you want this woman? I'll tell you what, I'm gonna step away because I care for you and I love you as a brother. She's an amazing woman, Dad. But I'll find mine.
Now, Andile said, listen, I'm going to step away because I care about you. No, I'm going to step away from you because I don't want any more of this beef. It's just dumb. That's the honest thought. You know, you're not stepping away because, you know, you like him. You're stepping away because you don't want any more of the beef. That's the reality. You just don't want any more of the trouble to be coming between you and Diamond. See, I don't see Andile as a fighter. You know what I mean? Andile's like me. He's a sniper. You know what I mean? He kills. He shoots from distance, he kills. That's Andile for you. He's an intellectual brother who fights with intellect. He's not using his fists. And I don't mean that literally. I mean in the sense of he's not using brute force and might. He uses power, which is the influence, the ability to influence. You know, so it's interesting to see how Andile was going after Zari, or at least playing with Zari, because I think that's the reality. Andile was playing with Zari, you know, and Zari was seemingly Zari said she was falling for Andile, so I don't know. Is a bit of a wild one whether she's lying or telling the truth, but she said she was falling for Andile as well. So, but it's interesting because he actually said my brother here as well, my boy. Let's have a look.
Do I understand why Diamond feels like I can't pursue Zari? I don't need to understand. I have to respect his feelings.
Cheers.
You're my boy, you're my brother. Family. I hear you.
Man said, do you hear what man said? Man said, I don't need to understand why Diamond said I can't go near Zari. I just need to respect his feelings. That's when I know that boy don't give a frick about the boundary lines, boy. When the season's off, just know he might be in Zari's DMs later on. Like, you know what I mean? When the season's done and they stop filming, just know he might be in Zari's DMs, okay? And if he's not in the panties later on, you now know why, okay? Because this brother ain't stopping for nothing, okay? All right. So, you know, they find each other attractive. They find each other sexually attractive. I think energy's right between the two of them. Look, let's be honest, man. I think uh I think Diamond's protecting his investment too. You know, he's the mother of his kids, doesn't want her to get messed up, and you know, then he can still flourish and still win. You know, so yeah, I think that was it's interesting. Now again, later on at the party though, that's what's interesting because obviously Diamond says he's not going to be able to trust him again. To be honest, I mean, there's nothing to trust. To be honest, I'm honest with you because um uh oh, and this part here, I don't know if you guys saw this part here. I want to play this clip as well. Uh, literally, I think I've got the right clip.
Real love, whatever. I know he's lying. And that's the reason I'm saying, like him, he can't be a right man. But the
Okay, yeah, I got it. Hold on, I got the clip. So there's a part here where um Diamond calls out Andile, but it's in a confession. He says Andile's a liar. And this, you know, when snakes see other snakes, they can tell that that boy's a snake. Yeah, because he knows what a snake looks like because he's a snake himself. Snakes recognize snakes. You know what I mean? Let's just keep it a buck. Let's keep it real, right? So look at this.
Andile is lying, acting like, oh, he want real love, whatever. I know he's lying. And that's the reason I'm saying, like him, he can't be a right man for the mother of my kids.
Now let's talk about who Baba.
He said he's a whole cold and lie. And the reason why I call him a lie is because he feels like Andile is not here for, he doesn't want love. Andile is not ready for love. He just wants to mess around. And probably the reality is he's probably telling the truth, right? Because him and Diamond are two sides of a coin. They are no different to each other. They just go about things in a more different way, right? Okay. So the reality is this situation between Andile and Diamond. Diamond knows who he is, exactly who he is, and he just doesn't want it to mess up his baby mother situation. That's all it is. Okay, but they're exactly the two same people. They're no different. And then this conversation between Andile and Zari at the end as well. What is this?
Apologizing would mean that there's something wrong. All I did was have the same feelings he once had. Anybody should understand it should be him. Anyway, I made him a promise that
You'll never talk to me again?
no, I'm not never talk to you.
Now that conversation was interesting because it first started off with him handshaking her as she was going up, and then she hugged him and said, "That's not what we're gonna do," and she hugged him. And then after that, they end up having a conversation, and then Diamond comes in and sees them two coming, and you know what he called them? He said, "This dusty disrespect." I said, "Man," he said, "This is dusty disrespect." I was crying, bro. But no, the conversation between Andile and Zari in this point. It sounded like Zari was like, wait, I don't know why we're stopping. I don't get why we have to stop. Why do I have to stop? Because Diamond says so. Again, I think it's more of a power thing than actually not than anything else. I think Zari doesn't like being told what to do. Zari doesn't like being controlled. So just like Diamond doesn't like being controlled and being told what to do, that this is her way of breaking free of those controls, right? And Andile is a part of that breaking of the controls. That's the reality.